Welcome back, wonderful people. Welcome back to my Nourish by Claudia channel. And today we're going to discuss relapse in recovery from hypothalamic amenorrhea. If you're new here, my name is Claudia Vidor. I'm a nutrition and dietetic clinician that works specifically with women with hypothalamic amenorrhea, disorder behaviors, and infertility. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do me a solid and subscribe right now. And if you're looking for extra free support, also make sure to join my Facebook group, my private Facebook group, Recover from Hypothalamic Amenorrhea Support. Now, without further ado, let's discuss relapse in recovery because it happens more often than not, which is why so many women stay in quasi-recovery or in the recovery journey for much longer than they should really. So if you're finding yourself that you are relapsing, or if you have given your 100% when in terms of recovery, and you are in a place where you don't know how to move forward, or you feel that going back to your disorder behaviors and disorder thoughts is actually much easier than progressing, first of all, I would really invite you to pause for a second and start to reassess. So instead of going back to the disorder behaviors, instead of cutting back on your nourishment, instead of increasing your workout routine, just for a second, sit with your thoughts and really reassess what has been happening, what has been working for you and what has not been working for you. And also just be very clear with yourself, what has triggered this relapse. More often than not, the relapse is caused by a couple of different things. One is symptoms. So for example, feeling of fullness, feeling of being constantly bloated, reflux, and all those type of symptoms, they're not very pleasant during the recovery phase, which is why it's so much easier to do the recovery journey when you're surrounded by a group of women that are going through the same process, and when you're supported week by week with a professional that can actually give you tips and resources on how to move along. And the second reasons why lots of women tend to relapse is because they really freak out when they see their physicality change. Basically, when they see the scale showing numbers that they're not used to, or when they see that their pants are not fitting any longer, which is also described as gaining weight or restoring the weight. So as I mentioned before, firstly, it's very important to grab a pen and paper, or you can also record your voice and actually talk to yourself and ask yourself those questions. What has been working for me for the past couple of months, for the past 3 months? What has triggered this relapse or this desire to actually let go of these new behaviors that I've implemented in order to get my period back? What has instead worked for me that I can continue working on? So let's say, for example, that having breakfast in the morning right now is something that you enjoy doing and that you would like to continue, but not being able to exercise is really provoking some anxiety. So my recommendations would be, go back to the things that you have been doing that are working for you, and for like a good few days, for a good week, just make sure that you keep them into your routine without challenging yourself any further. So if you find that the change in your body or your symptoms are really triggering right now, give yourself a break from the whole recovery journey. Give yourself a few days where you can simply cruise and you continue doing the things that have been very useful and that have been making you feel great. So I came up with an example of having breakfast in the morning. So just make sure that you continue doing that, but don't challenge yourself with implementing new behaviors or adding in new things that you're unsure about. If instead you're stressing out because you're not exercising as much as you would like to, see if for a week you can simply add in something extra for like 10 minutes every couple of days. See if you can do an activity that you really enjoy, that you have been missing, and that could be, for example, doing a 10 minutes jog, or that can be a 10 minutes dancing class, whatever that is for you, a 10-minute swim. Just make sure that you include that for like a couple of times or 3 times a week for the first week for only 10 minutes, so that you get that out of your system and you go back to reinforcing the thought that you can absolutely go back to those activities. It's simply that right now you are prioritizing something else. You are prioritizing weight restoration and hormones restoration. So those activities are absolutely available to you. It's simply that right now your focus has shifted slightly. And it is also absolutely okay to take a pause for a week, make sure that you keep doing all those wonderful things that have been helpful, and see if you can just give yourself a break by adding in things that you have really missed. Like, for example, some movement, or I don't know what that could be for you. So I don't want to come up with the example that you're not going to be resonating with. The second thing that is super important during this phase is to bring in lots of self-kindness, lots of self-compassion, because chances are that if you are in a relapse phase, if you're in a phase where you've got to a great place, but now you have hit a roadblock, you have started talking to yourself in a very unpleasant way, maybe because some feeling of shame, guilt, and blame have come knocking at your door, which is why for this week, this week of holiday for your recovery journey, I really invite you to bring in that extra self-compassion, that extra self-kindness. And what does that mean for you? It could mean simply to give yourself some slack and just reminding yourself that you have been doing so well until now, and you're just going through a rough patch, and you know that you're going to find a way out from this rough patch. How are you going to find a way out? Maybe just giving yourself 1 week break, or maybe there can be a 2 weeks break, and then really committing yourself to go back to the recovery journey. Or maybe it could be finding seeking some professional support that can really move you through these roadblocks. Or maybe it could be joining the Recovery from HA support group and listening to all my videos. Or maybe it could be joining the Period Comeback Protocol and the HA community. I don't know what that is for you. Or maybe it could simply mean taking a break from everything that is hypothalamic amenorrhea related. No podcast, no books, no HA meal plan, nothing. No Instagram, no Facebook, nothing at all. So you are you, and you need to do the things that really help you in your own way without comparing yourself with others. But I really invite you to bring in that extra level of self-compassion and self-kindness. And I'm sending you so much healing vibes, so much love right now. But I also invite you to commit to when you're gonna get back to the recovery journey, because otherwise that week or those couple of weeks, they're gonna very quickly become a month, 2 months, and then 6 months down the line, you're gonna be jumping on a call with me saying, I was doing so well, but then I relapsed a few months ago, and then I'm still stuck in this place of not knowing what to do because I feel that I'm still experiencing symptoms from hypothalamic amenorrhea. I don't have a period, but because of the past experiences that I had, I'm freaking out, and I don't want to go back to that place where I need to challenge myself in terms of increasing my food intake and decreasing my activity level, because it brought me so much stress. It made me feel so ashamed because I couldn't push through, and I just don't want to go back in there. Right. So it's really important that you commit yourself to actually starting the recovery journey again, but with a different mindset. And if you don't know how to do that, I really invite you to seek some professional support. And you can just click all the link below and see if there is anything that is out there for you that can really resonate with your lifestyle, that resonates with the way that you're perceiving the world right now, and it can help you to really get your mindset back on track and get your period back before the end of the year. Something else that I really invite you to do is also to go back to the core foundations. So if you hit a roadblock and you're in this place of freaking out, and you're giving yourself a break, and you have also decided and committed to when you're going to go back to the recovery journey, also write down which are the core foundations of your recovery. What are the non-negotiable that you're going to be doing each and every day to make sure that you stay on track and you're not going to feel as anxious as you have been feeling over the past couple of weeks, for example. And that could mean, once again, having the breakfast every day, limiting your caffeine intake, doing 15 minutes of mindfulness meditation, making sure that you go out for a walk, that you enjoy a 30 minutes walk, but you also pause your gym membership. I don't know exactly what your non-negotiables can be, because I personally don't know you. And if you want to really receive that customized support and those proven steps that can help you to get the period back, just make sure that you book in a free strategy call with me. But otherwise, pen and paper, once again, write down your non-negotiables and the reasons why you want to get your period back, because chances are that the reasons because you wanted to start this recovery journey, they were so very clear in your brain a few months ago, but now you can't even remember, and you're just focusing on the panic, on how unhappy you felt when you have noticed that your body was changing and when you were pushing yourself the extra mile to eat more, move less, and really manage your stress levels. So I really recommend you to find out what the core foundations are for you and start to build up from there. So once that you commit to go back to the recovery journey, and once you find out what are the core foundations of your recovery journey, start from there and stay there for a couple of weeks until you feel ready and confident to build up, to add some more, and to progress even further. Something else that I also would like to mention is that seeking support is absolutely normal, is advisable, it's highly, highly recommended. I went through the HA recovery process on my own for an extended period of time. I ended up spending more than 4 times the amount that I would have spent if I found someone to help me out from day one, which is incredible, because right now you're in a place where you may think that you don't have the finances or the time or the energy to invest in a program, to invest in a professional that can support you. And the reality is that you may have already spent so much, right? You may have already invested in doing some blood test results that were not even that useful, or that you didn't know how to interpret, or that were interpreted by someone that really was not well versed in hypothalamic amenorrhea. You may have already spent so much money in supplements that may have helped, may have not. You may also had to spend some of your well-earned money to go and see an acupuncturist, a kinesiologist, a therapist, and you may have tried different modalities without really looking at the root cause, or maybe because you have been in denial of what the root cause was in the first place. And now that you're so well aware of it, you are afraid of committing. You're afraid of investing in yourself, because once that you made the correct investment, you also know that it's going to be very difficult for you to back out. So there may be also some fear playing in the background. What if I invest in this program and then I'm not going to be able to stay on it? What if I invest in myself and then I have nothing to show up for, right? Those fears, they are absolutely normal. Those fears means that you care about getting the period back, and you care about your health, and you care about reaching your goals. Fear is the same thing of excitement, right? So instead of thinking, I'm so fearful of investing in my health, I'm so fearful of spending even more on my health, think about, change the word fear with excitement. I am so excited to finally invest in my health. I'm so excited to finally invest in something that can help me to move through these roadblocks and to get the next step further. Also, if you have found yourself being in relapse because you are afraid of gaining weight, you are afraid of looking at yourself in the mirror and not liking yourself any longer, this is not an excuse to not do the recovery process. It's more an invitation to get some help in terms of how to address that mindset, how to change the narrative that is going on in the background of your brain. The narrative that has been stuck there for years, months, decades, whatever that is for you, can be changed, can be absolutely changed. Because I've seen that happening not only in my own skin, but I've seen that happening in the hundreds of women that I help in terms of getting the period back, getting them pregnant, and getting them back to vitality, and energy. So please remember that you're worth it. Invest in yourself. Make sure that if you are in a relapse phase, that you treat yourself with kindness, that you give yourself a break, and that you commit to getting back on track by writing down a contract with yourself, writing down your core foundations, the non-negotiables, and also find that place, find that person, find that group, find that program that can help you to keep yourself accountable and to give you those proven steps that you can follow to get your period back. So if you have been following me for quite some times, and if you have been on the fence for a while, I just will really invite you to jump on a free strategy call with me so that I can tell you, I can find out if you are the right fit for the period comeback protocol, and I explain you how we can help you to reach your goals and to get to the place that you have been dreamed about. Alrighty, I send you so much love and I see you next week. Bye for now.